What's up, everybody? So this isn't a video I've ever made before, and this isn't the kind of video I ever thought I was going to make, but it involves something that I love, which is Rick and Morty. If you don't know, I did a whole season review for season 6 that just came out, just ended, and we got some pretty disturbing news. So apparently Justin Roiland is facing domestic abuse charges, and Adult Swim has cut ties with him. Now, where does that leave Rick and Morty? So Rick and Morty still has 90 episodes left in their contract, and I saw this last night, and I wasn't really planning on making a video, but I do plan on making review videos for Rick and Morty. So how can I not talk about this when one of the co-creators is now gone? Especially a co-creator like Justin Roiland, who is so big in the writing process, not just in voicing characters, not just in voicing Rick and Morty. All of those aspects of his job can be replaced. There are plenty of people on the internet already doing impressions of Rick and Morty and all the other characters that he voices. Will it be the same? Maybe. You can always find someone that's close enough that you're probably not going to be able to tell. Now, as far as writing goes, I don't know how you replace him in a way people won't be able to tell. Now, of course, they have a great writing staff. That's what's made the show so popular up till this point. But what happens when you lose a writer and you lose a creator like Justin Roiland? And this is where I worry for the series as a whole. I don't think he can really be replaced. His voice acting can be replaced, but I don't think his writing can be replaced. Now, as far as season 6 went, it wasn't one of the best to me. It wasn't one of my favorites, but his writing is obviously there. His jokes are obviously there. The beating a joke to death kind of style that he has is now going to be missing. Now, I am a fan of Dan Harmon, and I love his writing style. Community is a great show, which if you haven't seen, it's hilarious, and I think you should watch it. But moving forward with Rick and Morty, Rick and Morty's identity is kind of in Justin Roiland's writing style, and not really Dan Harmon's. Maybe it has Dan Harmon's storytelling, but not really his style of jokes. Again, if you go and watch Community, you can really tell the difference. Will Rick and Morty move forward with a more Dan Harmon style jokes, or will they try and bring in writers to try and recreate Justin Roiland? And I don't know which would be better for the show. Me personally, as a fan of Dan Harmon, I would kind of like to see the show move more towards that. Now that would change the entire tone of the show though. So would it still be Rick and Morty? But can you replace the antics, the shenanigans, the humor of Justin Roiland? I don't think so. I think either way, season 7 when it comes out, depending on how much they've written, depending on what has already been in the works, I'm not going to say it's going to be its last season, but it's going to be the tell as to where Rick and Morty goes. And I think the community is going to be pretty divided on it. I think when season 7 comes out, depending on how much has been written, depending on how much is already done, it might be the last season that you feel Justin's involvement, or it might be the first season where you feel the new tone, the new pace of Rick and Morty. I don't know how well it's going to go. And this honestly might spell the end of Rick and Morty. I understand they have 90 more episodes left. I understand they have a contract. But as far as people sticking around to see all those episodes, I don't know how it's going to go. I think it's going to be a very decisive kind of time for Rick and Morty in the style of its humor, in the style of its jokes. Can it be recreated? Probably. Will it be done well? I doubt it. And I doubt it because we've seen many writing strikes before where we have seen shows bomb. Because of the writing strike, the writers left, the tone shifted, and it was never able to recover. Will that happen here? It's possible. I know he is a large part of this show and he's a co-creator. Now that they've cut ties, we're just gonna have to see where it goes. But I worry, and I feel like, there's going to be a slow decline in the show until it is inevitably canceled. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll see what happens with season 7, see how it holds up, see if it still feels Roylandy, and then maybe have to wait for season 8 where the tone completely shifts. That's all I have to say about this. I don't know what's gonna happen with Rick and Morty. I'm still gonna watch season 7. Depending on how it goes though, depending on how much I like it, because Rick and Morty for me has personally been in a decline, and now with this, it's either gonna go one or two ways for me. It's either gonna somehow maybe get better if it gets a more Dan Harmon style, or maybe get worse as people try and mimic someone else's writing style. But that's what's going on with Rick and Morty. If you haven't heard, now you have. Didn't plan on making a video like this, but it is very pivotal for Rick and Morty moving forward. Other than that, I'll see all of you in the next one.